Shalom Akim. Today we're going to deal with a couple of Hebrew words. Some key Hebrew words you brothers will need to know. When you're going through the scriptures and the breakdowns. The first word we're going to go through is the Valley of Jehoshaphat, because the Valley of Jehoshaphat is key, pursuant to the prophecies written in the scriptures about World War III and these troops coming together in the area of the Middle East. To join battle for the last days, um, to fight one against another, pursuant to the prophecies of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and in turn, at the end of the whole thing, while they're fighting against one another, when Yahushai and the angels come back, they're going to turn from fighting from one another, and they're going to try to fight against Yahushai and the angels, and they're going to get smashed. All right, so the Hebrew word, I'll read this scripture first in Joel 3:12. It says, "Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about." Now, this is in the last days. We're in that time now. You see those over there in the Middle East. You see all these different troops gathering over there. It's not by coincidence. It's of the Lord who mustered the host of the battle. All right. So now, the word Jehoshaphat here, as you can see here in the Hebrew, is Yahweh Shaphat. Yahweh Shaphat. Now notice sometimes when you put a Hebrew word together, there's some letters that get dropped off, like the Ha at the end of the Most High's name is not in there because it's a connection. All right, so Yahweh Shaphat, which we have down here, Yahweh Shaphat, which means Yahweh's judgment. Now, you brothers know the name Yahweh means he to be. Yah at the beginning of a word is he, and the word Hawa is to be or to exist. Because the Most High is that breath. He exists. He's everything. That's why he says I am. He to be or to exist. And the word Shaphat means judgment. So Yahweh Shaphat is Yahweh's judgment. And the reason why it's called the Valley of Jehoshaphat, or the Valley of Yahweh's judgment, is because that's the area that he chose to bring forth this final judgment that's coming, that's going to be the final string, or the war to end all wars, so to speak. All right. So the word again, once again, is Yahweh Shaphat, which means Yahweh's judgment. All right. Now the next word that you're gonna have, because key words like this is good to know, because if you understand that, then you could break things down easier when you're out there teaching, or when you're doing sit downs. You know these key words in the scriptures, and you're able to incorporate it into the teachings while you're out there doing what you do. All right. Now the next word is the word Armageddon. All right, Revelation 16:16. And he gathered them together in a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. Now here in the 16th verse of the Greek, you have Armageddon, which is Armageddon. But now when you go to the Hebrew and you read through the Hebrew portion of this particular scripture in Revelation 16:16, you have here the word Har and the word Magadwan. Har Magadwan. Now Har Magadwan, so you got a Ha and a Ra, which are connected. Har, and you got a Ma, Ga, Da, Wa, and a final land Na. So the Ga and the Da connected, and the Wa and the Na are connected. So it's Ma, Gad, One. So Har Magadwan is Armageddon, or mountain of the troops. All right. The Hebrew word Har is mount or hill. The Hebrew word God or Gad is troop. That's where you get the tribe of Gad, which means troop. And the one at the end of it makes it plural. So Har Magadwan is mountain of the troops. Once again, just like the Valley of Jehoshaphat, this is another way of saying Valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh's judgment, or Har Magadwan, mountain of the troops, because this is the area where the Lord is going to gather these troops together to bring forth his judgment upon them, as is written in the scriptures, to fulfill his prophecy and to fulfill his words. And then at the end of it all, like I said before, when these troops are fighting one another, they're going to stop fighting one another and they're going to fight against Yahweh Shai and the angels, and they're going to lose. So Har Magadwan means mountain of the troops. All right. Now the next one is in the book of 1 Samuel 1 and 3. It says, and this man went up out of his city yearly to worship and to sacrifice unto the Lord of hosts in Shiloh, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priests of the Lord, were there. Now the word we're focusing on is La Yahweh Tazaba'awath. Now La Yahweh Tazaba'awath is literally the Lord of hosts. Okay, the letter La, or the Hebrew character La at the beginning of a word, is two, and then the Most High's name Yahweh means He to be, and then Tazaba'awath, as you see here, Tazaba'awath, Tazaba'ah is host or army, and the Wath at the end makes it plural. All right, so the Lord of hosts is La Yahweh Tazaba'awath, the Lord of hosts. Building on the word Jehoshaphat, building on the word Armageddon, mountain of the troops. Lord of hosts is Tazaba'awath, or La Yahweh Tazaba'awath. All right. Now the next one, in the book of Isaiah 13 and 4, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustered the host of the battle. So what we're dealing with here is Mapaquad, Tazaba'ah, Malachama. All right. And Mapaquad, Tazaba'ah, Malachama means mustereth or muster the host of the battle. That's what we're dealing with, mustering the host of the battle, building on, gathering all those troops over there in the Middle East. Now, Ma, as I said before, at the beginning of a word, as you see here, Mapaquad is of or from. Paquad means to muster or to number, for the army. Like when you go back into the law, I believe it was the men from 20 years and older that were numbered for the army, for the military, to go out and fight for Israel. So the word Paquad means to muster or to number. Then the word Tazaba'ah is host or army. All right. And then the Ma at the beginning of a word, once again, is of or from. And the word Lachama is for battle. And it literally means to fight. When you look up this word Lachama in the Hebrew booklet, the word Lachama is to fight or fight. All right. So Mapaquad, Tazaba'ah, Malachama this is the Lord of hosts that mustereth the host of the battle. All right. So we dealt with the word Yahweh Shaphat, which means Yahweh's judgment, which is over there in the Middle East. We dealt with the word Har Magadwan, which is mountain of the troops, which is over there in the Middle East. We dealt with La Yahweh Tazaba'awath, which is the Lord of hosts. And we dealt with the words Mapaquad Tazaba'ah Malachama, which means mustereth the host of the battle. All these basically are dealing with the Most High and this third world war that He's bringing, and He's gonna basically culminate it with nuclear destruction, because He's gonna destroy those armies that come against Him. There's gonna be none of powder left. That's why the first job that these Edomites, especially the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, are gonna have is to bury people. Why? Because there's going to be so many dead bodies that you're going to need somebody to bury it. Now, real quick, I just want to show you a map of the Middle East. This pretty much encompasses the whole Middle East right here. All right. So this is where all those armies are at. And if you notice, within the last couple of years, these places around here have really been pretty hot. Right now, you had the riots in Turkey. You had all kind of riots breaking out in Egypt and all these different places around here, Yemen. I believe there was something going on in Yemen. All these so-called Arab countries, there's a lot of civil unrest going on around these countries, and the Lord has a war basically going on in Syria, so you have all these different armies up in there fighting. They just finished their war with, so-called finished a war with Iraq. There's stuff going on in Afghanistan, and all these different Arab nations out here. So all these armies are down there. You have the UN down there. You have Russian armies. You have Chinese armies. So they're all up in the Red Sea. Up in the Gulf down here, Persian Gulf, all throughout this area here. you have nothing but armies gathered together. Now they don't understand why they're being gathered together, but they're really being gathered together for one thing and one thing alone, and that's the judgment of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, which is better known as Yahweh Shaphat or Yahweh's judgment. Harmageddon, the mountain of troops. La Yahweh Tazaba'awath, the Lord of hosts, which is gathering all these different armies. And Mapakwat Tazaba'a Malakama, mustered the host of the battle. So this is what's happening right now. These armies are being gathered together for their destruction, for the demise of Esau, the so-called white man's kingdom, and for the upliftment of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's kingdom, which we are joint heirs with that kingdom. So with that, I hope you brothers learned a little something. Until the next time, I say shalom.